Hey, good morning. It's Ruth Lemon. I'm not able to be in class this morning. I have a graduation from a granddaughter, but anyway, wonderful day. I hope that you had the opportunity to either read or listen to The Alchemist on YouTube. Uh, it comes on for free. And if you did, you realize that the journey begins the moment you decide or are aware that you want to make a change. Some people say get up and do it, but getting up and doing it can sometimes be difficult because we don't realize how wonderful we are. But in The Alchemist, you will find that this young man meets two people that reassure him that it's okay to take the journey. And I want to tell you, it is okay to take the journey. It has nothing to do with your age or where you live or even what you're doing in this moment. It only has to do with making a choice. So today, as we breathe in with me and blowing it out, we realize that our entire life has been a journey. Sometimes we look back to the past and we think, wow, that was terrible. What's going on? That's why I can't do anything today. But that's not true. The truth is, the past occurred so you could come through it and arrive at this moment and know that today is a new day and you can start again. In the story, The Alchemist, he goes through quite a few things on his journey. Some of them good, some of them bad. But isn't that how life is? Sometimes things are terrible and we don't see an end to it. But some kind of way, it always turns out all right. And we arrive at this moment. I want you to think about, what is it that I really want to do? Where do I see myself today, tomorrow, maybe the next week? Have I decided to completely trust the answer to my prayers, to trust that the God within is speaking to me? And then as I take those breaths, breathe in and blowing it out slowly, I allow myself to take those moments of silence, those moments of just being by myself, but not alone, and letting myself hear for the first time in a different manner with that third ear, the ear that goes beyond the human and takes you into the next dimension of knowing that we're dimensional beings, and each day we move into a different dimension. In this dimension, I want to tell you the story about a couple. They used to take journeys where they would go out together in their sleep and they would say that we're going to travel into a new time and space. So one day they decided that they wanted to see how it felt to be poor. And they went out on their journey and they saw themselves sitting outside of a restaurant. They were hungry, no one was offering them money or food, and they were looking at them like, what are you doing here? You don't even belong in our neighborhood. But in that moment, they looked at each other and they smiled and said, let's make a change. So breathing in and closing their eyes, they allowed themselves to be into a new dimension where they saw themselves sitting in the restaurant, having food, and talking about how they could share the thoughts and the ideas that brought them to the richness of life. How many of us are afraid to close our eyes, to breathe, and to know that yes, I can make change? Yes, I can do it today. And I can take that first step by picking up something to read, by going somewhere, by meeting someone new. Because once you make the decision, you never know what doors are going to open. Allow yourself to be in the space of breathing and allowing yourself to have those moments. In The Alchemist, he meets a man along the way who teaches him that sometimes the thing that you think will make your life everything, is something that when you get it, it doesn't even have value, because you begin to realize that love for each and every human being, that peace within yourself and for the world, that abundance, not only for you, but for everyone, is available. It's in those moments that the true wealth comes. And yes, of course, money begins to come in too, because people want to talk to you. They want to know, how did you come up with that? What made you think of that? And it's in those moments you can say, I took a breath, I decided to trust, and I decided most of all to believe. It isn't always easy. It may not come instantly because sometimes the little thoughts are going to creep up on you. But slow down. Slow down. Take that breath. And as you begin to slow, you become rhythmically in balance. And the world begins to look different. And all of a sudden, the people you need show up. When I had my business in Lemon Tree, I remember when I started out, it was nothing but a meditation. Within that meditation, I didn't know what I want, but I knew that I wanted change, and I knew that I wanted to do the thing that I love. So I would sit every morning for 15 minutes, and I'd allow myself to be in a space of freedom. And as I sat in that space for 15 minutes, I got up and I'd walk away, and I did it every morning. And one day, the doors began to open so quickly for me. It was almost frightening because I couldn't believe that all these wonderful things were occurring and there was a rhythm to them. And I ended up owning my own business, traveling around the world, working internationally, working for large companies in the United States, and having the life I had always thought that I could have. I want you to know that my story is beautiful. One day I'll tell you the whole story. I'm blessing my children for just being with me as I took that journey because they were on the journey with me. And I know that some of the things that occurred for me have influenced some of the things they do in their life. No, it wasn't always perfect, but it was a perfect journey for me. So today I want you to think about, am I willing to take that breath, to take 15 minutes or take time to meditate? Start with 1 minute if you're afraid to sit longer. But it's intentional, because within that intentional, that thing which you call the universe, I call it God, answers. So today, even though I'm not in my meditation class, I just wanted to take a few minutes with you. So let's just breathe in now. Breathe in and blowing it out. Breathe in again and blowing it out. And breathe in again, blowing it out slowly. Sit with me for a moment. Concentrating on the breath. Breathe in deeply and blowing it out. Breathe in again and blowing it out. Opening your eyes. No, I don't have a 7-step program. I can't tell you anything is magic, but I can tell you that the things that I talk about, the roads that I've traveled, the things that occurred that I thought were so bad, all of it brought me to this point. And I want you to know, today is your day. What are you choosing? I'll be back tomorrow morning, our 2-minute meditations. I'll be back in my class on Wednesdays, live. And whatever you do this week, remember, just take a moment to concentrate on the breath. Take a moment to allow yourself to get the clarity and say, I know this might be what I'm doing, but it's not really who I am. I don't care what they say is going on in this country because the God within me knows that there is peace, joy, and abundance and love in my life. And as I receive it, I send it out. And I know that everything concerning me, my country, my family, my friends, it's already done. God is a good God. I'll talk to you later. It's Ruth Lemon. I want you to have a wonderful day. Think about it. See you later.